Okay, a clearer picture is starting to emerge. It appears that the intelligence agencies of the United States of America, the Central Intelligence Agency, the National Security Agency, the FBI, are all in on the riots. They are in on it. Let me explain. Basically, what they're being told is that look, go along with these riots, and this will be a perfect opportunity to install that authoritarian police state and control grid that you guys always have wanted. Okay, and they're like, yeah, we love that. I mean, leave it to the CIA, FBI, or NSA to want more authoritarianism. Yeah, okay. So, and these kind of promises are coming from the think tanks, right, in Washington, all of which are Jewish controlled. So there's no think tanks that are controlled, that are writing about this kind of stuff, okay, that are not controlled by Israeli intelligence, which means that they're controlled by the City of London, House of Rothschild's bank. What do I mean by that? Most central banks throughout the planet Earth, the Rothschilds have a controlling interest in it. So when you look at the Forbes 500 list, you will not find Rothschild's name there. Plus, it's a series of institutions all split up into tens of thousands of financial instruments and trusts and foundations and corporations and shares. This is how it's done. And through the many convoluted groupings of layers of the onions of the foundation financing and the tax-exempt foundations, they are able to shield their ownership until finally you have like the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy, or whoever's issuing or the Rand Corporation, or the Council on Foreign Relations, or any one of tens of thousands of these Jewish think tanks, all of which go back to Israeli intelligence and the City of London Rothschild banking octopus. They're being told through these think tanks, because that's who does the thinking for the intelligence agencies. It's the think tanks that issue the white papers to the CIA and the FBI. The FBI and CIA don't have scores of academics telling them what to do. They rely on external organizations, foundations, and trusts and think tanks to do the thinking for them. And so they've been promised, hey, listen, Antifa, don't worry. Antifa's doing your work for you. They're working for you. Don't worry about it. They're going to enable you to have the ability to usher in a total police state with microchips and everything. You like that, right? And of course, the FBI's like, yes. CIA's like, yeah, we're on board, right? NSA's like, oh, yeah. Plus, the most of the leadership there is Zionist, right? So they're going to go along with anything that a Jewish foundation tells them to do, okay? What the Israeli intelligence House of Rothschild City of London Foundation structures are not telling the FBI, CIA, and NSA is that those houses that were in your family, your mother's house and your daughter's house and your grandparents and all your progenitors and all the suburban and urban and rural homes and property that you guys had or the deed, the name that's on that deed. What they're not telling you is that soon the names on those deeds are going to be from a fucking Jewish financial company, like most likely to be BlackRock Holding. They're not telling you that part. So they're giving you incomplete information, oh FBI. And so what I'm saying is that by the end of next year, many hundreds of thousands of deeds will have the name of the owners of that property changed because they defaulted on their payment. I know this is a convoluted way to think, guys. I know there's many layers to this onion, but you're an intelligence agent. So you should be able to understand that, it's sometimes you have to look beyond the obvious. So the idea is that they spread this pandemic. Most of it is largely fictional. We know this. But since the Cuomos and the Newsoms are taking their orders directly from the asset managers and hedge funds like BlackRock and Blackstone Group, who they work for, and those groups are telling them, you keep everybody in their fucking house so they can't go out and make a fucking dollar to pay their mortgage or tax. That's what it is. And that is the mechanism that these fucking Jewish banks are going to use in order to transfer the name that's on that deed from your ancestors, from your name, or the name of your sons and daughters, to BlackRock Holding, or one of the many thousands of financial groups that are going to be doing the repossessing of all that property. That is going to happen. That is what the plan is. That is what they're not telling you. They're just saying, oh, yeah, go along with Antifa. I have a very difficult time accepting that the FBI and the CIA and the almighty NSA, who knows everything, can't figure out who's giving the text messages to these fuckers. I'll just play this and you tell me if this Keystone Cops. Watch this, guys. I've never seen a bunch of clowns. Look at these sloppy fuckers, man. Oh, let me swing like a grandmother. Oh, yeah, we got our, yeah. Look at these guys. These guys can't even... I could go in there and beat the shit out of all of them with my bare hands. I don't need a truncheon. Look at this. Watch. Oh, everybody stop. Oh. Like the music should be like... This is the fucking silliest group of fucking dumb... Watch. Look at this fucking group of idiots. Dude. I could go in there with my bare fucking hands, disarm all of these grandmothers, and fucking have them all on the floor within probably 2 or 3 minutes. No worries. This is the Keystone Cops. This is a bunch of... I don't know what they're doing, playing video game fighters or something, but... Okay. There's no way that these klutzy, clumsy clowns have a good OPSEC, okay? They're using Twitter to get their messaging. They're using Signal, Telegram. They're using iPhones, Androids. The bottom line is, it's not hard to find the connection to Israeli intelligence who's pulling the string on Antifa. It's there. You can find it. Look for it. Spend a little time. Google this shit. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's reality. It's easy to find, especially if you're working for the intelligence agencies. I know. As soon as the trail leads back to Israeli intelligence, you go into your boss and say, hey, it looks like Vox is right. It looks like fucking Antifa is an Israeli intelligence operation. What do we do about that? The boss whoever it is, Christopher Wray. And it says, Fred, Agent Fred, got some bad news for you. We're going to transfer you to the South fucking Pole so you can hang out with polar bears and suck their dicks. Right? Don't be tracing anything back to Israel. We are slaves of Israel. Don't you get it, Fred? So, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And there seems to be nobody willing to stop it. And I believe the FBI and the Secret Service and the CIA and the NSA are working for Israeli intelligence, and ultimately, and many of them don't even know who they're working for, you know. The U.S. military has a very tight, rigid command structure, so to try to get people to form independent organizations within these organizations, which I believe might be one of the solutions. There needs to be a core group, people who are, keeping the oath, because I'm not sure about the people at the top of these organizations. I don't know about that. I think Christopher Wray's. I've seen some of what he's talking about. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, China, he's mouthing off about China. Dude, it's Israel. He took the fucking virus from the grade 4 labs, man. It's not that hard. And once you get the virus, King's College researchers said that once you get samples of these virus, it's a very simple matter. With a home beer brewery that costs under $2,000, you can make enough copies of that virus to kill off the world. So certainly Israeli intelligence, who has a very strong dislike for us, right? One of their leading rabbis said, the Goyim are fucking donkeys, man, and we need to keep these donkeys alive for a long time so they could serve our needs. So I'm going to read off to you what Ovadia Yosef said. What's that damn thing here? Okay. I'll do my Benjamin Netanyahu voice. Goyim were born to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Unbelievable. In Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, in Israel, death has no dominion over them. With Gentiles, it will be like any person. They need to die. But God will give them longevity. I'm doing a shitty Netanyahu. I can sometimes get that shit right down to an art. Okay. They need to die. Imagine that one's donkey would die. They'd lose their money. We're their fucking donkeys, man. Unbelievable. And this is not a conspiracy theory. Okay. This is his servant. That's why he gets a long life. To work well for this Jew. We live long so we can work for the Jews. Okay. Why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will reap, they will sit like an effendi and eat. Effendi is the Romanized Turkish effendi, which is a master. From the Greek offentus, lord. This is what I read. We will sit like a lord and eat. That is why Gentiles were created. We were created to be their fucking work donkeys so that we do the work and they sit and fucking eat. And this is coming from this Ovadia Yosef. He was the Sephardic leader, the Sephardic rabbi of Israel, the main Sephardi rabbi leader of Israel, the leader, not some obscure guy. Okay, and he was the spiritual leader of this ultra-Orthodox party. I don't know the name, and just like a deeply revered religious leader in Israel. Okay, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not they'll say, "Oh, this guy is anti-Semitic for saying this." I will get accused of anti-Semitism for telling you this, for showing you what's printed in newspapers, which you could go Google yourself and you could find out. Don't take my word for it. I always tell people, don't take anything I'm saying for face value. Fucking look it up, man. This is what we're confronting, man. They think we're fucking donkeys, man. Fucking hell. You're gonna need one of these to survive. Fuck. In the Jew world order, man. Of course. If you're a Christian, this is the destruction of Christendom. They burnt the Notre Dame Cathedral. And the Rothschild's employee named Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, said, "Oh, well, we don't know how that burnt." He's Rothschild's agent. He worked for Rothschild's. Look it up. Don't take my word for anything. Look it up. So, of course, he's going to say, "Oh, we don't know. It's accident, just a construction," right? That was a fucking shame. Burning Notre Dame down. Any person who's a Christian in the intelligence organizations would be happy with that. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. And then they burnt the cathedral at Nantes. We haven't seen cathedral fires in centuries, and now they're burning them in Europe. These 11th century cathedrals, 14th century cathedrals have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And Rabbi Shlomo Avner, prominent rabbi in Israel, said the burning of Notre Dame was in revenge for the burning of the Talmud in that very same location 600 years ago. He said it. Don't take my word for it. Rabbi Shlomo Avner, the burning of Notre Dame. This is very dangerous times. This is, the Jews know that they have to, the Jewish supremacists, the Jewish bankers know, in order to enslave Western Christendom, they have to destroy Christendom. They have to destroy it in order to do it. Now, I'm not a very good Christian. I'm not a very religious person, but I do not want to see the destruction of Christianity, because once that occurs, we are going to be fucking slaves. We're going to be paying our rent to these fucking Jewish bankers. And I'm sorry, I don't want to live like that. So if there's a group of loyal people in the intelligence services who have a shred of dignity, who care about their past, who care about their ancestors, who care about our history, man, do something. Do something. Talk among yourselves. Spread this video around. Everything I said is true. Spread it around. Say, well, what's this guy talking about, man? Why are we letting our cities get destroyed? The property values are going down. And that's the part of the plan. People are leaving the cities. Jewish bankers and the Jewish financial holding groups like BlackRock Group are going to be buying it. BlackRock Group was the one who engineered the mortgage-backed securities back into the one that caused the 2008 collapse of the housing market. His name is Fink, who runs BlackRock. That guy engineered the whole collapse, and fucking Trump puts him in charge of the goddamn buying up of failing companies in the COVID crisis. So they create the crisis, they sabotage our economy, and then they own it all. And fucking Trump's a part of it by putting this guy Larry Fink, pulling the plug on our society and for the destruction of Christianity. Of course, that's what this is. That's what COVID-19 is. That's what is happening.
We still have not witnessed the full impact on small and medium businesses. On the other hand, we've seen large corporations having full access to the capital markets. And so large corporations had a great ability to stabilize their financial position. And right now the marketplace is looking at a more pragmatic society. It is accepting a higher infection rate, which then will lead to some higher mortality. And that's going to be a balance. How much can society bear the rise of infection rates, which in many cases may be good? And so this is what I'm trying to suggest. We don't know the real impact on small and medium businesses yet. We don't, is there going to be a need for another fiscal stimulus to help these, the large component of small and medium businesses? As I said, large companies, in many cases, have already been able to stabilize their financial position. I actually think COVID-19 is another example of physical risk. It's a health risk. It's an economic risk. I think sustainability and climate change is another physical risk. And as I wrote in my letter in January, sustainability is an investment risk, and we see now health is an investment risk too. When you intersect sustainability, when you intersect the sustainability of health or COVID, if you intersect most recent issues around racial inequality, COVID actually elevates this whole concept of ESG. I think COVID is going to elevate, and associated large issues around racial inequality is going to raise a whole issue of S. Hopefully private companies are going to be all elevated in terms of their role in society in elevating issues around sustainability, issues around social injustice. And so I do believe our responsibilities as companies are going to become more important than ever before.
BlackRock also is playing a key role in the Fed's rescue of the U.S. economy. What does that mean for BlackRock?
You mentioned the Federal Reserve, but I think we should expect a lot of volatility, a huge pile of cash.
So they create the crisis, they sabotage our economy, these Jewish fucking scumbags, and then they own it all. And fucking Trump's a part of it by putting this guy Larry Fink, pulling the plug on our society and for the destruction of Christianity. Of course, that's what this is. That's what COVID-19 is. That's what is happening. Remember what I'm saying. The deeds on the land and the houses are going to get lost. And the new owners are going to be Jewish, man. Have a little fucking dignity and fight it before it's too late.